Yeah. Once again, it's on. Back at you one more again, Real Kids TV in the house like kitchen sinks. Now, before I get into this morning's video, if you will, understand that I'm the self-proclaimed Mr. 30 Minutes or Better. Meaning that anytime I drop a video, it's guaranteed to be 30 minutes or better. So if you're on your way to work, at work, you don't feel like being there, as we so often don't. You're on your way home from work, you need to laugh, you need to cry. Perhaps you're trying to lay down and take a nap, or you're trying to go to sleep at night, depending on whatever time you're listening to or viewing this video. Or you're just in the mood for a good old-fashioned true, keyword being true, penitentiary / life story / life experience. This is the channel for you. If you like your 8 to 12 to 15-minute videos, absolutely nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But at Real Kids TV, it's 30 minutes or better. So with all that being said, there is a message. I'm sure that you all have eyes, right? We all have eyes. I'm bringing you all this message just roughly about 12:15 a.m. Just now getting off work. And I decided, I said, you know what, man? I'm going to bring my people some love. Some of that midnight love. Pause, double pause. So I might have to put my radio voice on. You know how the DJ, the late night DJ, WTLA. One time for your mizane. It's going to be a fish fry on the west side. You don't want to miss it. You might not get no fish. Caller number 9, state your name and where you're calling from. Yeah, I might hit y'all with the DJ voice. But no, in all seriousness, you know, I'm reflecting as I so often do. And I'm thinking about all the violence and the outright beatdowns that I've witnessed or heard of in, during prison and in the county jail as well. You see, being incarcerated is never a good thing. Now, when you go to prison, it's a lot more lackadaisical. Not to say that prison is easy, not to say that prison is soft, but you can kind of maneuver in prison. You can get out and about and walk the yard and kind of go just cool off or just be by yourself or, hit the weight pile, go play basketball, just whatever. Contact visits. But on the flip side, in the county jail, oh man, there's no room to breathe. Absolutely no room to breathe whatsoever. And that's where you see a lot of the violence occur. Now, in this particular story, we was in the penitentiary. One of the cardinal sins that I always speak of is that basketball court. See, there are certain things in prison that you want to try to avoid. Yeah, it's fun to play poker. It's definitely fun because, not only do you have an opportunity to win money, but it kills a whole day at that poker table. It's not the most productive thing in the world to be doing, but hey, anything to get to the next day in prison. You got the domino table, you got the spades table, just gambling in general. Obviously, you don't mess with anybody's boyfriend, you don't lie, you don't steal, you don't rat on anybody. And ideally, you like to stay off that basketball court. See, in the penitentiary, they have basketball leagues, they have softball leagues. This particular time, it was the winter time, and it was the, I guess you want to call it the intramural basketball league. Very, very, very serious situation in prison, man. Goes down on that basketball court. You got people gambling on the games. It's just competitive. You don't have necessarily everybody that's on that court is not always thinking with a clear train of thought, I guess. And so the slightest thing will bother certain people, which commences the violence immediately. At times. This particular situation, you had two teams, they going at it, man. I'm talking about, man, they going at it. Whoever wins this game advances to the championship game. You would thought that they was trying to get an NBA contract or something. That's how hard that they was playing, man. some of the best athletes in the penitentiary. You'll see dudes in the joint, and you'll be like, man, this dude is supposed to be in the NBA. Definitely he's supposed to be a D1 playing basketball, doing something. Unfortunately, they get caught up, find themselves in prison. As I mentioned, the two teams are going back and forth. It's close scores, competitive or whatever. And there was a call that was made. The referee made the call. One of the teams, he didn't like it. One of the players, rather, on the team. Actually, nobody on that team liked it. See, in prison, you have, during the intramural basketball leagues, you have referees. You're lucky to have two referees. I've seen games to where it's only one ref. In this particular situation, it was two referees. He's going back and forth with the referee because the referee called a foul on dude. Dude was like, man, I didn't foul him, man. The referee, he's kind of ignoring him or whatever. Dude just keeps on. He's running it, and he's running it. Finally, the referee, he tees him up, gives him a technical. Now, this referee, he wasn't no chump by any stretch of the imagination. Matter of fact, before the games, he would always bring everybody to center court, and he'd give a little speech. Listen, man, I don't have a dog in this fight. I don't care who wins. I don't show no favoritism. You win, that's cool. If you all win, that's cool with me. I don't care. Just let me do my job. It's only two of us. Like I said, certain situations, it may only be one. Just let me do my job, man. I'm going to call the game as fair as I possibly can. If I miss a call, hey, I'm only human, man. I'm not a pro ref, man. I'm out here doing this, to get some exercise. I'm out here doing this so that you all can, compete, have an opportunity to play and, and things be fair on both sides. He would give him that speech. And plus, don't try me because I can fight and will fight. That was his speech before every game. Now, this referee, Don. Don was a black dude, dark-skinned dude, had long braids. See, you all thought that I was going to say he was caramel complected. No. And no, he didn't weigh 225. Don probably was weighing in at about 190, 195. Tall dude, maybe about 6'3". I say Don was about 6'3". Don had been locked up for, I want to say 3 years at this point. He was doing a stretch. He had to do 10 years straight before he had an opportunity to go home. Don was an athlete himself. In fact, Don had so many Division I scholarships on the table as far as football and baseball. I believe the Cincinnati Reds and a couple other teams were interested in him right out of high school. Only problem with Don, he kind of had a bad attitude, so it kind of, the teams kind of veered away because he had that attitude. He ended up going to school. I think he ended up going to like a junior college. He came home, ended up catching a dope case. All his dreams right out the window. That's how he ended up in the penitentiary for the first time. So now that you all know a little bit about Don, you see that, this dude, he's no chump by any stretch of the imagination. It takes a lot for Don to give you a technical. But dude was just running. The whole gym is packed. See, the intramural games in prison, oh, man, it goes down. They play the music, man. It's just sometimes they bring in teams, outside teams or what have you. So it's just like it's a must see. Everybody's there. The gym is packed. He's arguing back and forth. Don's not really even arguing with him. He's like, hey, bro, just let it go, man. Let it go. He doesn't want to give the individual another technical because if he gives him another technical, guess what's going to happen? He has to throw him out of the game. The game only has a couple minutes left. The other team, they're going to the free throw line. It was just a tight game. I don't remember the exact score, but let's just say the score was tied. A couple minutes left. Dude's just steadily running it, You bitch. Now he gets to cussing Don. Yeah, bitch ass nigga. Huh? Yeah, bitch ass. Don tees him up. You out of here. Throws him out of the game. Now he acts as though he's going to, run up on Don. His team is holding him back or whatever because now you've already gotten two technicals. You're costing your team. They trying to go to the championship. There's no telling how much money was being, gambled on this game. He's trying to, get it Don Don. Don Don's not running. He's kind of walking away, but he clearly is not scared. Teammates, they separating him, whatever. Don Don has to leave the gym. He refuses to leave the gym. The gym director comes down and says, hey, man, you got to get out the gym. If you don't, man, you're going to the hole. Don Don's still running it, man. Well, actually, the dude's still running it at Don Don. Yeah, I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. Wait till I catch you on the yard. I'm going to get you. As I mentioned, Don Don's really not saying anything. Once they finally get him out of the gym, the game continues on. The team that ended up getting the technicals called against them, they ended up still winning the game. So we would have thought that everything was everything. It was a little, tempers was flaring, to say the least. It was a little controversy. It was a couple words exchanged or whatever, but no one really thought anything was going to come of that. It's wintertime. The yard shuts down at about, I want to say about 8:30. So you got to be back to your dorm at about 8:45, actually. So at about 8:30. But like if you have a basketball game or something like that, sometimes they'll allow the yard to stay open because they know where everybody's at. You see what I'm saying? It's not like it's controlled movement. That's what they call it in prison. So they know that, okay, this amount of people, they're in the gym. Well, after the game is over with, you hang out for, 5-10 minutes. Then, everybody goes to their dorms. Well, when you walk to your dorms, as I mentioned, it's dark outside. So, you just walking in the dark. If it makes any sense. It's just like you're walking out here on the streets and you go somewhere it's dark. Same way in the penitentiary. Don Don comes out of the door. He's not thinking anything of it. He's, talking to a couple of the other referee, well, the other referee actually, because there was only one other referee. The dude that Don Don got into it with, he's laid back. Nobody even knows that he's out there. He's laid back. He done went and grabbed I think he had like a can of chili, and he put it in his sock. That's a major, major weapon. He comes from there's a handball court. So when you walk past the handball court, Don Don was like standing behind the handball court. As soon as Don Don walks past, dude, boom, splits him, man. When he hit him, the first time he hit him, he knocked a couple of his teeth out because he catches him like right there in his mouth. Boom. Don Don's surprised. He doesn't know what's going on. Dude reaches back, hits him again. Boom! Catches him in his head. Now he's really, really split. He's bleeding. The other referee, it's still other people on the yard. Everybody's going to their dorms. Because everybody's not in the same dorm. You got people going this way, that way, straight ahead, just kind of everywhere. He done hit Don Don a couple times with the can of chili in the sock. I guess Don Don's instincts kicked in because even though he's discombobulated, he's bleeding, he's split, he squares up with the dude. But his legs was wobbly. He didn't really have a whole lot. And plus, dude still got this can of chili and a sock. Don Don swings, he misses, dude hits him again. Boom, boom. This time Don Don falls down. When he falls down, you could just see the blood because it was snow on the ground. So he hits him a couple more times. He's talking crazy to him. Yeah. I told you I was going to get you. I told you. I stomped him a couple times. Then he leaves. He goes on to the dorm. Police officers, they're on the yard. Not police officers, but correctional officers, they're on the yard to make sure that everybody's going, directly back to their dorms. They see Don Don laying in the snow. They pick him up. They call whatever they cut the alarm on. And it means everybody go back to your dorm immediately. Whenever an alarm comes on, see in the county jail, they just come over the loudspeaker. So if something like that happened in the county jail, in our county jail, you would hear Signal 7. Let's just say you're in Unit CC. Signal 7, Unit CC. Signal 7, Unit CC. That's what you would hear over the loudspeaker in the county jail. And you would hear that quite often throughout the day. It's always a fight. It's always some violence that's being displayed in the county jail. Signal 7 Unit CC. Signal 7 Unit CC. If you're rocking with me, jump in my comments. Let me know where you're chiming in from. I'm in Lexington, Kentucky. And hit me with the Signal 7 Unit CC. Signal 7 Unit CC. Respectfully. Drinking me a little lemon water, man. Trying to, make sure I'm working on my health. A couple people jump in my comments, say, come on, Kens, man, we love the way you tell stories. Not too many people. Love the way you tell stories, but get to the story, man. You telling this, you talking about this, and you talking about that. It all correlates, man. As I previously mentioned, if you like your 8 to 10, 12, 15-minute videos, this might not be the channel for you, but I'd love to have you. So simmer down. Rock with me. Bear with me. Turtle don't always lose the race. So as I mentioned, they cut the siren on. Everybody's taken back to the dorms. It's investigation. The yard is locked down. They trying to determine who did this to Don Don. Don Don never said a word. He didn't divulge that information as far as who did that to him. Yard gets locked down for a few days. Not really any movement. They have to bring us our food and we can't go to visits and, things of that magnitude until the investigation is fully complete. Fortunately for that dude, and I say fortunately for him, they never found out exactly who did it. As I mentioned, it's dark outside. When a fight of that magnitude or violence of that magnitude happens in prison, they'll come through. They're looking to make sure, okay, who has any cuts, scratches on their face. Hold your hands out. Want to make sure, your knuckles aren't busted up or blood. They look for all of those things. They never found them. Don Don split. He's messed around. They end up having to take him to like the outside hospital, not the jail, not the prison infirmary. They had to take him to the jail hospital. Like I said, knocked a couple of his teeth out. He's not coming back on the yard. There's no possible way that they will put him back on the yard. Even though he may want to come back on the yard and avenge what happened to him, they will never put him back out, on the yard. If you get in a fight in prison and both parties go to the hole and nobody really gets severely injured, 9 times out of 10, they're going to let both of y'all out on the yard. You just got to sign like a little form. Okay, I agree to go back out on the yard, and that's that. But the magnitude in which he was hurt like that, there's no possible way. Championship game is supposed to be a week later. Well, the problem with that is nobody wants to referee at this point. After that horrific beatdown, who wants to go back out there and referee? You got an individual, Big Body. Big Body was OG. At this particular time, I want to say Big Body was probably, Big Body was in his 40s. Let's just say Big Body was 45. Caramel complected. Big Body was about 6'2", 6'3". He had done a lot of time in the prison system. Bald head dude. Big Body was a referee prior to arriving at this prison. See, if they didn't end up having any referees, then the game wasn't going to be quite as... Well, actually, I don't even know if the game would have gone on. Because you needed a referee that could go in there and really handle and control things. And wasn't afraid, wasn't intimidated. Prison is a very, very intimidating place, man. And they'll sense fear. They'll sense... And when I say they, meaning the inmates, they'll sense if you're a little shaky. Some people go in prison, man, and it is what it is. What's up, man? Yeah. Some people's, a little shaky, man, shaker than Don Knotts. Big Body wasn't one of those individuals. Big Body was a convict. See, there's a difference between an inmate and a convict. Nothing proud about being a convict. It's nothing like you don't get a badge of honor or anything of that magnitude, but in prison you do. As I mentioned, Big Body was about, say, about 6'2", 6'3", and I know he was weighing in every bit of 235, 240. Initially, you wouldn't even realize that, though, because Big Body always wore his state jacket. In prison, they give you a jacket. It's a khaki jacket. He always had his state jacket on, no matter what. You never seen him without this state jacket on. It didn't matter if it was 80 degrees outside. It didn't matter because, he had been in other prisons prior to this. As I mentioned, he was known for keeping his jacket on. Even when he was refereeing the games, there were times he would have his jacket on. He would just put the jersey over top of it. It's crazy, but that's how it was. Or if he didn't have his jacket on, he would have like a big sweatshirt on with the referee shirt over top of it. Big Body, he just wasn't one of those guys that he didn't say a lot, but you just knew don't fool with him. He referees the game, the championship game. Similar situation happens. Now, it wasn't, exactly how it happened with Don Don, but both teams, they get to fussing, they get to complaining and crying to the referee. Big Body's not trying to hear none of that. None of it whatsoever. He tells the dude, "Hey, I ain't gonna throw you out, man. We can do whatever, man. Don't let this referee uniform or whatever. Don't let it fool you, man. We can do whatever, right? And it ain't about throwing you out of the game. You won't get down." That's how Big Body got down. The team that was supposed to win the championship, that was the team that the inmate that beat up Don Don was a part of. They end up losing. They heated. First thing, oh man, they cheated. It's the referees, man. The referees cheated. They wanted them to win. Ain't no good sportsmanship. Ain't no shaking hands and all of that after the game. Nah, man. They heated. Big Body's already prepared. He already, let one of them run up on me and see what happens to him. Let one of them run up on me and see what happens to him. This particular even, nothing ended up happening. Just a whole lot of words or whatever, a whole lot of, crying and complaining and pointing the fingers and, nothing happens. A few days later, Big Body's in the studio. Yeah, they have a studio in prison. Now, it's not like a studio, out here on the streets. Ain't like they got a booth and you go in there and, turn me up, turn my headphones up. turn the bass down, turn the treble up. No, not one of those type studios. Actually, it was a band room. Go in the band room, you got the drums, you got a keyboard, you got, a couple different instruments or whatever. And Big Body, that was his room. Everybody knew this was Big Body's room. He stayed in there playing the keyboard and playing the drums. Big Body, as I mentioned, was about 45, but he loved to rap. And actually, I take that back. They did have a way. They had a way to where you could lay down lyrics in the band room. I forgot all about that because I heard a couple of Big Body songs or whatever. Maybe not the best of quality as far as equipment, but you could go in there and do that. I totally forgot about that. Probably had a keyboard that had, probably 6 tracks on it, something very minimum or whatever. But nevertheless, it gets the job done, man. Y'all rock with me. A couple of the dudes was in the studio. These young dudes, man, they probably, they're in their 20s. No more than 30, 31 years old. They're in the studio. And they did something that Big Body didn't necessarily approve of. He likes everything just kept a certain type of way. Like, okay, you have this here, strategically placed. Okay, I want this back here. The guitars, I want them over here. And they didn't put something up the way that they found it. Yo, bro, you're not gonna put the thing up. I don't know what exactly. You ain't gonna put the thing up. They ain't want to put the thing up. All right, don't come back in here. Don't come back in here. You come back in here, I got something for you. A couple days later, dudes come back in the studio. I guess they thought Big Body, was a joke. I guess they thought he was playing. I tell y'all, don't come back in the studio, man. Go ahead on, old nigga. This ain't your studio. It is my studio. You don't want to clean up behind yourself. You don't want to put things back. I run this studio. I told you don't come back in here. They act like they was going to jump bad with him. 3 of them, they run up on Big Body. Man, Big Body reached in. I don't know where it came from, but Big Body turned around and pulled out a sword. Not a shank, not a knife. Big Body pulled out a sword. And it makes sense why he wears that jacket all the time. Like American Express, he never left home, never left the dorm without it. He pulls that sword out. Yeah, what's up? What's up now? Dudes, they fly out the room. The crazy part about it, Big Body was about to go up for parole. Not a couple months later, like Big Body was going up for parole like within the next, month or so. Parole was out the window at that particular moment. It was out of his head. It was out of his thought. He didn't care anything about parole. He saw red. He was going to do them young dudes in. They hurry up. They ran out of the studio or whatever. But now it's on. It's beef. Not to mention that there's already tension on the yard for what they had done to Don Don. See, Don Don had, he had people too. So now you have, and I'm not going to mention the counties or the cities, but now you kind of got 2 cities that's looking at each other like, man, yeah. When time permits, we gonna get you. You think y'all just gonna bust our dude up like that and it's over with? Nah, we gonna get you. So it's already tension in the air. Don Don and Big Body are from the same city. So you get what I'm saying? Like, Big Body was ready to do something in anyway. About a week or so, a couple weeks later, whatever, Big Body goes up for parole. He makes parole. He's cool. He makes parole. He's cool with it. But he seems as though, that wasn't enough. I'm going to get dude. I'm going to get I'm going to get all 3 of them. If it's the last thing I do, I'm going to get them. Everybody's trying, man, chill out, OG, man. You done made parole, man. Nah, you disrespect me. I don't care if I was going home the next day. You disrespect me like that, you're going to get your issue. And I'm going to get them. Now, they kind of steered clear of Big Body because they knew what he was about. Apparently, they didn't know initially, but when he pulled that sword out, oh, yeah, they knew. They knew. Big Body makes parole, whatever. And at this particular time when you made parole, if you had already been up for parole before and you didn't make it, if you go up for parole and you make it the next time, you're going to go home the next day, maybe 2 days later. But typically, you'll go home the next day. Big Body's still out for vengeance. He's out for blood. A few days later, he makes, like I said, he already made parole, but a few days later, he's going home. I think he made parole on that Thursday, and he was supposed to leave that Friday, but the paperwork didn't. It's always something with your paperwork when you're about to be released or when you're scheduled to be released. The parole officer didn't bring the golden seal over here, or they didn't bring this piece of paperwork or that piece of paperwork. So now he had to sit in there for the entire weekend. Leave on Monday. The average person, they going to be heated. They going to be hot. Now, Big Body, it gave him another few days to get these individuals that disrespected him. As I mentioned, they steered clear of Big Body and nothing happened. Monday morning comes. It's time for him to go home. In Kentucky, they call it your merry-go-round. When you're about to leave, you have to go to certain places and get things signed. Like you have to go to the gym, get the director to sign a piece of paper saying that you don't you didn't check out any games or anything like that, and you don't owe anything, then you go to the library, then you got to go to the administration building, get your check. Then once you get all of that stuff signed, you take it back to your caseworker. This particular morning, the caseworker was in another dorm because he was a unit director and a caseworker. He wore two hats. Pause, double pause. And so he had to go into another dorm to get the unit director, we just refer to him as a unit director, to sign his merry-go-round. Then you go down to R&D, and from R&D, that's where you like turn in your clothes, and you get your clothes when you first get there, and your boxers and your supplies and your toilet papers and things of that nature. It's called R&D. You go down to R&D, then from R&D, you jump in the van, and they take you to your gate. They take you to the gate where your people pick you up. If you don't have anybody at the gate waiting on you, they take you to the bus station. He goes in the dorm to get this signed, as I mentioned, by the unit director, and he seizes his opportunity. See, one of the little young dudes, he sees him in the dorm. It's called a bay, actually. So when you walk into the dorm, it may be dorm C, but you have different bays, like bay 1, 2, 3, 4. He sees a little youngster in bay 4. This is early. When you leave prison, it's early in the morning. It's not like 6 in the morning, anything like that, but, it's early. Looks around. He slides inside the dorm. In the bay, rather. The youngster's knocked out. I've seen this happen in the county jail just as well. The youngster's knocked out. Youngster, wake up, man. You know how it is first thing in the morning. You wake up, you don't know, you kind of discombobulated or whatever. The youngster turns over. Boom! Puts him right back to sleep. One punch. Boom! He's snoring. Right back to sleep. Big Body said, I told you I was going to get you. Walks out of the dorm. Coldest thing. One of the coldest things I've ever seen. He walks out of the bay, out of the dorm, walks down to R&D. Gets everything, that he has to get handled at R&D. And rides out. You see, the thing about Big Body is I ended up seeing him in the weight pile one day. And I guess he was feeling good. I don't know, but you never see this. But this particular day, he was working out when he didn't have his shirt on. Man, this dude was an absolute beast, but you never could tell it because he always had that jacket on. It's not like you staring at a man, like you body watching to get your wig split in prison too. So it's not like you just staring at an individual like, I wonder what he has, going on up under that jacket. But he was in the weight pile one day and he took his shirt off, man. And this dude had traps. This dude was like, no funniness, man. This dude was like a gorilla. You just never could tell. And when he hit that little young dude, man, I wasn't there when he hit dude, but I heard about it. He put him right back to sleep. Rolled out. I recently asked about Big Body. I'm not going to say recently. It was about a year and a half ago. And unfortunately, Big Body was sick at the time. And that was partly the reason why the parole board went ahead and let him out. And he didn't make it. He's no longer with us. I guess it all makes sense when I think back and I'm like, okay, I wonder why he didn't care about going home. Anybody else is going to let things go for the simple fact of, you know what? Yeah, they talk crazy to me. They may have disrespected me or whatever. But I'm about to go home. I'm about to hit these streets. See, Big Body knew that he was playing on borrowed time, which we all are. But he knew that he didn't have much time left anyway. And about his respect, he was going to do whatever it took. I never seen Big Body again after that. After he left, I never seen him again. As far as Don, I ran into him. Actually, I didn't see Don again in the prison system. I've seen Don a couple times on the street since. And it's not one of those things where anybody laughs at him or anybody. Nah, because dude snuck him. If they had a fought one-on-one, man, Don would have dusted him. He would have dusted him, man. Matter of fact, I may bring Don on the show. I got his phone number. I may bring him on the show, man, and let him explain to you all exactly what happened in full detail. I guess the lesson to be learned is several lessons to be learned. First of all, the easiest lesson, stay out of prison, man. It's violent, man. Prison is violent. So you have people that they may not have the same sentiment as we have, as you have. Some people go zero to 100 real quick. Well, on the flip side, an individual like me, you pretty much got to put your hands on me to make me go there. Some people's just violent, man. They don't, that's all they know is just violence. And once they flip, and once it's up, it's stuck. And they going all in. They're willing to do whatever and whatever happens. Cherish your health. There's individuals out here that, sometimes we think that we have it so bad. But you got people such as Big Body that didn't tell anybody that he wasn't going to be around much longer. While we're complaining about this and we're complaining about that, you got people that's fighting for their life. Literally fighting for their life. Big Body was big and strong in stature, but he had pretty much given up. He didn't want to do his treatment. He probably could have been preserved. He could have preserved himself, but he just, I honestly believe that he just gave up. He didn't even want to do his treatment. And when he came home, he was just living his life, man. I'm not going to do this treatment, man. It's going to be what it's going to be. And that's exactly what happened, man. Real Kens TV. Hopefully you all like the story. Definitely feel free to comment, share, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And be sure to hit that post notifications. Anytime I bring you this action and this heat, guess what? You're amongst the first to receive. I can imagine, being that I wasn't there, as I've already mentioned, when he hit that boy, and he got them big hands too. Big Body got them big hands, and you just turn over. Imagine you sleep and you just turn over and somebody, boom, push you right back to sleep. Nothing that I want to ever go through and imagine. And nevertheless, Real Kens TV. Y'all make sure y'all check those. A lot of people saying they're not getting the notifications when I drop a video. Worry not. Just check the channel every single day. Or at least every other day. I'm definitely bringing that heat and that action for all of y'all's asses. Infinite pause. I'm gonna skip regular pause, double pause, triple. That's infinite pause. Real Kens TV.